Good morning, Desert Willow Peoples. It's been a second since I've done one of these. Yeah, I did one like 2 weeks ago in a long video format. My wife pointed out some things that the house was a mess, and I decided to take it down. So I can appreciate what my wife said. I was like, whatever, and typical dude stuff. So I was like, we'll be all right. But took it down so she wouldn't be too angry with me. Hopefully this video, I don't show the messy parts because we do live in it and we're still fixing it up. So I'm not going to show everything, hopefully. But I will show what we've been doing these past few weeks because we've made some big strides, and you can see behind me. And I'll turn the lights on. But we got our doors in with the trim. So we got these from a local place. They're not terrible. And then we stained them. I can show you the stain. It's the Pacific Northwest redwood, I believe. So got them. They were already sanded. It's all right. So we got the doors in, got the trim in. You can see here my wife's getting a handle, so we just wedged a shim in there to keep it closed for now. She's coming back. They're not here right now. Show how the doors, right? So I've never done doors, so it wasn't the most difficult. So all I did most of the time was on the hinge side. I would lay it flat against the sidewall, and then just shim it where it needed to be. And now I have metal framing. I don't have wood, and my builders didn't do it, and I didn't know to ask at the time that we were supposed to put 2x4 in here to get to the nails to bite into. But I used wood metal screws, and I got them about 2 inches long. So I was able to go through this with the hopes, and I think it's open actually, with the hopes of hitting the next one, which now that I'm thinking about it, it wouldn't have. So I only got it biting on one. Sorry for the rambling, but it's not moving. They're in there actually pretty tight. So I usually did 3 or 4 here, 2 up top, 3 or 4 here. And you can see we're not done because I need to stain where this was shut. So that's next weekend. I'm gonna trim. We got the trim in, our barn doors are in. I need to figure out a way, and I think it's just gonna be door stops. You can see it was stupid windy, and I'm not putting a track on the bottom, so I need to figure out how to keep these from in the wind moving. I'm probably just gonna use a doorstop on the inside, or I'll just think of some other way. Also, I'm gonna extend this. I got 2 tracks with it. My freaking stud finder broke, and I'm not gonna try, but I'm gonna extend this 10 inches out, and we're gonna open this all the way, and I'm just gonna have that finishing there. But other than that, I mean, we're looking good. Trim's in. Got to finish repaint. Got to repaint all this wall here anyways because it's looking a little dirty. But all in all, doors are in. It's looking like a house. Yeah, can't complain. I'll take you outside. Nothing major outside. The biggest were the doors and the 4 more batteries for the solar. But yeah, we'll head outside. All right, outside, I do just want to say it's been gorgeous, and monsoon has finally come back to New Mexico after 2 years. I don't know if the camera does it justice, but it's green out here. That's nice. So last few years, like last year, we had a heat dome settle in, and it didn't rain for nothing. Also got my wood stacked, ready to go. So I got enough wood for this winter. But it's green, man, and we got rain last 2 nights. And they're calling it for the next like 4 or 5 days. So monsoon is in full swing. Temperatures dropped. Today's high is like 86, which is awesome. So I can't beat that. But let me say, why has it taken so long for us to continue on with the house? So our goal is debt-free. We are debt-free so far, no problem, but that in turn caused us to drain bank accounts. And so then I owed a ton of taxes because of how I took that money out and from where I took that money out. Anyways, I had to recoup our savings accounts and get our emergency fund back up. Yes, I'm a David Ramsey guy. Yes, I'm partial Dave Ramsey. I still have a credit card. I'm not gonna get rid of that. More Caleb Hammer. If you don't know who he is, he's a cool guy. It seems on YouTube, so I enjoy watching him, listening to him yell at people, so it's fun. But they both give great advice, in my opinion. Anyways, It's been a little bit of a struggle because we did not anticipate our Xterra to go down for the count for a while. So we burned out the transmission in our 2007 Xterra, mostly I think from all the water. So previous videos you saw, we got actually an old car, an 02 Excursion. My point on cars are they're from A to B. I'm not taking a loan out to get a car. It ain't happening. So we just been saving this thing so far. I need to knock on wood again. We popped the check engine light about 6 months ago, and the transmission light went out at the same time. I thought it was both, so saved up, put a new to us used transmission in this about a month ago. After my first trip to work, it died on the highway. Check engine light, etc. Misfire, cylinder 1. Changed the coil out, worked for 2 days. As I'm driving home from work, check engine light's blinking. So if you don't know, blinking usually means it's your emissions, something's wrong with your emissions. Came home, checked the codes. Turned out it was the, can't think of it. It's under the car. Crap. Give me a second. Catalytic converter. It was the catalytic converters went out. So had to get that replaced. Let's see. I thought, was there 2? Yeah, that was it. So those were the 2 big ones. Took about 3 weeks to get this thing up and running so far. Like I said, got to knock on wood. She's running now. So that coupled with trying to stay debt free, rebuilding our emergency fund, etc., and just spending money on car to get it going again, and we'll see how long she lasts for. I don't know how much more I'm going to do into this one before we just call it and get another one. Old car, obviously. Jeep's been holding out, but she's slowly dying. She was never made to drive. I've been driving her, man, for I wanted to do every day as a daily for going on 2 years, which was only supposed to be a few months. So she's slowly dying, so I got to put some work into the Jeep. Power steering's going. Front drive shaft actually U-joint broke. Drive shaft dropped, put a hole in the floor. So that was fun. So hopefully later this year, I'll start putting a little money back into the toy. She was only supposed to be a toy, and now obviously we have space to use it. And I haven't been able to use it, but it's okay. We've been with the house. So that's been the story of our cars. The Xterra, she's been with us since 2013, so we'll see how long she keeps kicking. But now we're rebuilding, and we're getting there. So hopefully I didn't just jinx us and have more car problems. Haven't had car problems in 15 years. This is the first time I've ever really had car problems. So I mean, I've been very fortunate and blessed in the car aspect. So, but of course, it's when we come out here in the country when all of it starts happening. So it goes. So you'll see our wood. I didn't measure this for a cord. So what's a cord? 4 foot long, 4 feet wide, 8 feet high. So you can see this is probably like 5 feet high right now. It's 4 foot wide. A cord's probably, I think this is 12 feet long. So I probably have a cord and a half sitting here, to cord and 3/4. So this is enough to get us through the winter with our wood stove. I still have a pile left over. I don't know if you can see it on the camera from last winter. Probably a half a cord. It's good and dry. This will be good and dry. I'm not going to cover it. We get a ton of sun, and if it rains, it's going to dry out. So that's not a big deal. Not really worried about that. So let's go look at our solar. All right, we're over back at the solar. So as you can see, not much work's been done since the last video. None, actually. So I mean, you can notice some of these bottom 3 panels, you can see the dings on them from the event that happened in January. So these probably aren't producing like they should, but I'll take it. They're working. You can see we got everything stacked up over here. This is leftover from the January wind event where panels and everything was flying everywhere. One of them was 400 feet that way. So the county's getting my area dumpsters. They do it every fall and spring. So I'm just waiting for that. And these are going in those dumpsters when it happens. So that's good. I'm happy for the county and at least some of my taxpayer money going to something helpful. I don't know. Anyways, so here is the the solar array. Like I said, no change. We're just gonna keep going. I think next weekend we're gonna get these three. This is the leftover stand when we were living in the RV. Obviously it's a mess out here. This is on the docket to clean up. We're gonna throw a lot of this away when we get those when the county gets those dumpsters for us all out here. Anyways, this was never meant to be temporary or permanent, obviously. And obviously it's not the right angle, etc. And these are getting blocked as the sun goes down. And I probably should pull some of these plants up that are next to it, obviously. Anyways, next weekend, these three, 1, 2, 3, are gonna go on there. And then we're gonna restart the project and just keep building down. So, I mean, close look. I still have the old. Here's the 2x8s or 2x6s. So when we did it, it was 2x6s and I didn't buy them long enough. So I made these extensions, and now you might laugh and say these failed. These never failed. What the problem was the brackets I was using were not hurricane brackets, and with the wind, it actually ripped the wood in pieces. So it just took it. So we went from 2x6, as you can see over here, to 2x8s, doubled them up. I just got deck screws. I'm going to get some timber locks. I have proper hurricane ties, top and bottom, both sides. I should have notched these out, but I didn't. But so far, it's been a lot better. And the big one, I added this middle brace to each one of these rows with hurricane brackets on both sides. And then I also did a timber lock screw. And in the footings, I made them deeper and a little wider, because that was an issue. I also put a ton of deck screws in the bottom to try to hold it in. So you can see here. Now, yeah, they're not perfectly straight. Why? Do you see all these rocks here? My auger, it just doesn't drive deep. So if I hit a big rock, it could be a massive rock. I have a jackhammer, but not all the time. I might not be able to jackhammer through this. So the hole goes where it's the easiest to make the hole. So far it's worked. Dude, she doesn't move hard. I mean, she's stable. She doesn't move at all. So I had to replace some of these on the front. These back ones, nothing. You'll see here. I am gonna have to probably dig this one out. The concrete did crack. It wasn't big enough, and I'll probably redo this one. And this is a mess. So once I get everything up and running, I'll ensure all my cabling's good and clean. The way I'm running the cabling, I decided to do conduit now. I'm having everything go up to the top, and I'm just running conduit through the top. So if I need to change the panel, etc., I can. Obviously, these are just dangling in the wind. I should do something here just to stabilize them or not have birds hang on them. But no problem so far with the system. We'll max out. We can max out our what's it called? Our charge controller with 100 amps if we want to. So no issue. Right now I have 15 panels. Before the wind event, I had 18. And I had actually bought 2 extra, so I had 20 panels. So the 2 were just in case, which thankfully I had them to help when it happened. So we were able to get the system back up and running that next day with recovered panels and the extra ones I had, so we weren't without electricity. So my goal is get the 15 panels up, and then I'm going to finish it out again. I'll bring it back up to 20 with 2 in reserve in case a panel goes out, in case something happens. I might do 3 in reserve. I don't know. I haven't decided. But anyways, we're going to have 20 panels. These are the Q-Cell 400 watt panels. I think they're the Q10s, if I remember right. I think. I can't remember. It's been a minute. Good panels. I love them. Just as a recap, I have them in 3. So series, 3 panels in series, and then obviously they're all going into the combiner box. So my charge controller can handle 150 volts. With 3 in series, that gets me roughly 135 volts. I can't go more because that would put me, if I do one more, that gets me above or close to the limit, and I don't want to do that to my charge controller. So 3 is enough. 3, that's why it needs to be an odd number when I get them going. So yeah, that's it. I mean, we're doing it. Rainwater collection, nothing's really changed there. I'll bring us over there. All right, here's my rainwater collection too. 500 gallon tanks. We're gonna put a 2,500 gallon here. Obviously here's my overflow. If it rains enough, I'll fill this IBC tote up. It's not black. This is our water run IBC tote. I should paint it black, but I haven't. It's been raining enough. We haven't had to do water run in about 2-3 weeks, so which has been nice. We've just been able to live off rainwater. Lasts us about 2 weeks, I think. You will notice what I don't have and what I need to work on is getting a first flush. So right now I just have it coming off the roof directly into the tank. Now, I do move this pipe and let it come over and drain for the first few minutes as it's going, just to let all the debris, because we are getting debris in the tanks. There's no way about it. But water's been pretty good. No problems. I do have, you can see until I get a shed, that's our pump house. So I do have 2 filters that bring us to a 5 micron level. And then inside the house at our kitchen sink, I have a 0.01 micron filter, which makes it pretty safe, but this gets everything out of the water anyways. So the water's pretty clean, just to help. I don't put bleach and haven't put bleach or chlorine in any of this water. So it's rain or it's when we do water runs from a city tap water, unfortunately. But that's the rainwater. So we are planning on at least 1 more tank. We'd like 2 2,500 gallon tanks here and here. And that would get us, that would last us a while. The roof, my house is with the decks, the front porch, the front deck, which is roughly, I don't know, 500 square feet. The back's 1,000. So the back of the house, the roof itself. So I'm only collecting water on the back half of the roof. The roof is roughly 3,000 square feet that includes the porches. The living space in the house is 2,100 square feet. So we are getting roughly 1,500 square feet of water collection going into the water tanks. And that's a lot. When it's a good rain, good monsoon, it fills them up pretty fast. And then I just let it overflow. I got a little path there. It hasn't been hurt. It's been working. So we usually collect more water. We don't have enough storage, and we're usually overflowing. So like I said, once we get the 2,500 gallon tanks, that'll take us even further. And I'm gonna plumb them in with PEX on the bottom so they all level out. So it'll all be plumbed in, and as 1 tank fills, they'll all level. Then I'll also have the overflows going into each of the tanks as well to help out. So that's the plan. We've been surviving. Just been patient, man. That's all we can do. Go to work, come home, do what we can, put some money in the bank for savings, spend a little money on the house, and just continue on. The more and more we do put into the house, the more easy it gets theoretically. So hopefully we'll get there one day where we can actually relax and enjoy the homestead. Animals, I don't know. We'll see. We like to travel. My wife's from Japan, so we want to go back to Japan hopefully next year, and maybe every other year after that to visit her family or have them here. So animals will be a little rough to get people. We just came out here for peace and quiet, for the freedom it gives us. In the views, man, you can't just beat the views. Now, I don't have one desert willow on my property, so this fall I'm in zone 6, I think. I'm gonna see if I can get some desert willows to live. And from what I've been reading, the best time is to plant them in the fall. So our idea is to line the driveway with desert willows. That'll give us some good shade on the driveway. It'll look cool. And they grow like crazy, and they spread like crazy. So maybe we can, they actually don't die, we could actually start getting some more color out here. There are bees. It's insane. When everything, you can see we do have desert flowers coming up, weeds. But we got bees out here. There's a ton of wildlife. So we're not like the Sahara out here where there is water. You can see up there, I mean, I've shown it in previous videos. I have with the free range cows that walk around here, there is a watering hole for them right there. So I want to get a trail cam and see what else is drinking there. I've seen the coyotes, but there's 100% bear in these mountains behind us, and there's mountain lion, and we actually have bighorn sheep. So yeah, I need to get some trail cams and see if I can catch anything cool coming by. I've seen road runners. We have quail running around. I don't know if my dogs have gotten them, the quail, but fence is doing good. It's holding up. Dogs haven't escaped. Coyotes have been coming on, so they haven't gotten electrocuted yet. I don't have the bottom fence on because they'll just ground out too much, and I haven't been weed whacking it. So I got the second one up, so they're probably hitting the bottom one and just coming through. But my dogs have been hit, so they're afraid of the fence. So that's been good. Arroyos, they're still alive and active. I mean, you can see where the water runs. It's green, it's really green. The culvert's been working good. No issue there. We've just been stacking rocks just to help with some of the erosion. So we'll probably need to continue stacking all around here, let it cool down. So only so much we can do, but it is green. It's like a jungle through the arroyos, which is pretty nice. Yeah, I mean, that's the update. That's the update. I don't have anything else. Sorry, it's not a professional production. We're just kind of giving people a glimpse into the life and how we're doing our off-grid adventure. So if you want, reach out, ask questions. I could show you what we did. Not promising that it'll work. Right, Sake? Hey, where you going? You having fun? You having fun? She's having fun. The best is the dogs. We might have struggles, but the dogs have been loving it out here. So you can see one last update, our mesquite bush. This is a mesquite tree. I call it a bush because, I mean, it's not growing up, it's growing out. And this thing is growing. And you can see this is where water comes. And then the cows are pooping and peeing and crapping all up there. So it's flush now. Look how green it is. It's like we got a yard out here. Oh, there's a lizard. But yeah, this thing is, there's stuff living in here. So it's good. I'm not gonna cut it. I'm not gonna cut anything down. I love this desert look. Our neighbors came down and were like, hey, you should cut all these cactuses down. You should move all this, you know, you get this. I'm like, I don't care. So I'll just, if I got a rattlesnake, I'm not gonna save it. I'm gonna kill it. Coyotes haven't been messing with us. If they ever do, then I'll start thinking about, you know, ridding them if I need to, but they haven't messed with us. They've left us alone. We actually, with her, Sake, me and her were walking down the driveway and there was a coyote through our fence one morning over there. I looked at it, Sake saw it. I thought she was gonna chase her. Sake stood right next to me, was like, that is a barbarian dog. I'm not even going over there. Coyote saw us, ran off, but it was funny to watch her reaction to see what I thought they might fight. So I thought I was gonna have to go and get my gun to take care of the situation, but nope, coyote left. My dog just looked at her and was amicable. So I don't know if that's good or bad, but it's a thing. So yeah, like I said, reach out with questions if you want. If not, you can enjoy the videos. Like I said, I plan on, this isn't a production. Obviously with my videos, you can see it's not a production level thing. I don't spend a ton of time on them. I'm kind of just documenting what we're doing, giving you guys an update. DIY stuff, you guys can follow it. I'm not a professional. It's just, I'll give you updates. I don't like videoing when I do stuff because I'm not a professional. B, it takes forever when I'm trying to video it. So, and I mess up all the time and I have to redo stuff. So take it for what it's worth on here. You can ask me how I did it. I'll send you photos, etc. You can DM me on Facebook if you want, and I'll show you. I'll show you how we did it and what we used. But yeah, other than that, have a great weekend and have a good week that's coming up. All right, bye.